Howdy folks. Today we're going to do a model along on making a toony skull. I don't really know what the skull's going to look like yet. Again, I'm just going to design it live. But we're going to take this sheet here, and I don't really want to make like a realistic one like I said. I want to do like a more toony one. This is more a tutorial to show like how would you go about making the structure for a skull. And then once you understand how to make that structure, then changing it into like a more realistic one or an even more cartoony one is like more viable after that point. So yeah, let's just start. This is gonna be on my sheet. A way I like to start a lot of round things is to throw on a subdivision level 2 and then convert to a mesh right away. And I'm just gonna decide the shape of the skull that I want. So obviously skulls are more realistic. They're not perfectly round, but I also don't want it to be this even, just for more fun. So let's, looking from the front here, we're gonna flatten out this bottom part a little bit. I'm just gonna push this up a little bit. Okay, we're gonna imagine this is kind of like this portion of the skull that we're focused on right now. I kind of like the idea of being a little more squashed. And then from the side, actually, hang on, I'm going to get two of these going on. And then from the side, I kind of want to focus more on, let's see, if it's squashed there, maybe I could make the forehead a little bigger, do something like that, where it's like a little bit more exaggerated angle down. Maybe something kind of like that is the idea. And let's just kind of make that a little wider. Yeah, we'll go with that for now. Okay, so first thing I like to do is block in. Hang on, I went from the wrong view. 1 second. Hang on. Let me redo that. Okay, so this is the side. Make sure you don't get mixed up when you're doing that. I should have known because the axis was different, but that's okay. All right, I kind of went a little overboard there. All right, it's fine. It'll be fine. We can fix it. Okay, so now this is the new front. One thing I like to do right away is just to block in the eyes. I just like to establish where that is. And something I always end up doing with eyes is, regardless of what face I'm modeling, is adding that extra loop down the middle. So I'm just going to do that preemptively because that's always what I end up doing. And okay, looking at the distance of the eyes from the top of the skull, a realistic one, again, we're only focusing on this one, is about halfway down, but I kind of want to have this top part pushed a little higher, kind of as if like the eyes are like pulling up on the design. So we'll go a little bit higher than what I think it's gonna be. And I might go back on all these decisions later. I'm just kind of, this is just sort of based on what I see right now and kind of what I'm thinking. But yeah, you can always change what you want to do. Okay, so let's start by deleting the faces that are going to encompass where the eye is. I usually do a little inset just to make it easier to change the eye shape without changing too much of the surrounding geo just yet. And then loop tools, do a little relax. And then I like to establish the depth. So realistically, if the eyes are here and like the forehead is up here, right, this is going to be the bridge of the nose. And we're going to pull this part up. It's usually how I like to start structuring it. And then this part is always too far forward if you don't adjust it, so we're just going to pull that way back. And I'm just edge sliding stuff over, just kind of roughly getting into shape. And now that I'm like starting to get shape, another thing I like to do is setting it to shade smooth and then going down here. Normals, I usually set this to like at least 60 is typically my starting point, just so I can get clear edges right away. Get kind of an idea, because now I know my nose is going to sit kind of like in this area. I'm already building out that like brow shape, so I know where that's going now. And this might, I'm not going to worry too much about the shape right now, because once I get the details in, I'll actually be able to see more clearly what I'm going for here, because I don't actually know what I'm going for yet. We're figuring that out. Okay, so I'm going to do the nose next. That's enough on the eyes. Again, you just kind of want to touch areas really quickly and then move on, because as you add more information, it'll be easier to see. Okay, so there's a few different nosy styles I could go for. I kind of want to do, I do like the classic heart. That's kind of cute. It's not bad, but if this is a squash skull and I'm going for kind of a squishy look, maybe if I kind of flare it out a bit more, that would probably help with the design. So let's try that. And then I'll just, yeah, delete it. And then I'm actually gonna, I was gonna mark those edges for visual purposes, but whatever, that's fine. Okay, so, a few things about the nose here. This needs to be sticking out more. That's kind of like the pointiest part, is like, this is what I'm making right now. It's already kind of doing that shape actually, but let's just exaggerate it a bit more. I can probably help by pushing this in if I just like do this a little bit, and then I'm probably going to need to build out some sort of cheek. But the cheek topo, or like the loop for it, would probably start more up here, and then there'd probably be like some kind of the cheekbone over here. And then this is also a stylized skull, so I don't obviously necessarily need to make it square, because that's just this design. Real human skulls are more, not that, are more like this thing. But I'm also deciding if I even feel like doing that. But you know what? Honestly, if we do a little, maybe make it look a little evil, do something like that. That might actually be kind of cute. Let's do that. Okay, so for that, first of all, I'm just thinking about my loops here and how I feel like advancing. Let's plan this out, folks. Sort of plan it. A lot of the time too, when I'm modeling and I'm like, I don't have a specific plan yet, I just start noodling with the loops and just kind of clearing them up, because I find as you sort of like, it's sort of like a Zen garden, I guess, like as you start to mess with your loops and like clean them, it sort of becomes clear as you go. Another thing that can help with face structure, I do this pretty much every time I make an eye, is just throwing in like an eyeball and just kind of imagining where the socket would be, where it would fall, and like, yeah, maybe around there, and then it just kind of gives you an idea of what your depth should actually be. So let's align to this skull a little bit, or this face. I can just set the snapping mode, holding control to enable snapping. And we're just going to snap to those edges. Doing something like that can help. Okay, so the shape of the eye I'm not crazy about, but let's build the little cheekbone first. That's going to kind of dictate a little bit more. So how do I want my topology to run? So I've already established I know I need this line of topology for the bottom of it. This also seems to go, if I look here, because like the bottom of the cheekbone is going to go from here into, and the top of the cheekbone kind of starts over here and goes this way actually. So bottom of the cheekbone goes around the, kind of defines like the front where your like canine is a little bit. So it's going to go here, and then I wanted it kind of out. I don't know how far yet. We're just gonna guess, honestly. We're just gonna yank this out a little bit, and I want to mark this edge because A, it's easier to see, but also I do want that to be sharp. I'm pretty sure, not 100% sure. And auto merge. I gotta change that back to vertex snapping. And then I want to create another loop here for it this way. So let's just merge those together, and then the eye can come in closer, and now this can go over this way. Again, I don't really know what I'm doing there yet, but there's also going to be a loop probably that reinforces the back of this. So knowing that, let's add a little bit more here, because this is going to wrap around, probably here. Whoopsie, I didn't mean to do that. I was just trying to change that. Okay, loop that around there, right? Just to like close in this loop. And then we're going to have that other one like I was saying, from here. So I don't really know where it's gonna start yet. I'm just gonna kind of guess. It's probably something like this. And then it's going probably around. I don't know. We'll see what happens. We're just gonna kind of get that in place. And then, okay, so now I have, that's looking correct. So let's just get another loop along the bottom here so that we can actually pull this out. And put that around there. Yeah, because I actually want this to like, I don't want this to stick to it. I need to add volume because it's kind of inset a little bit, right? And I don't need that right now. Let's push this over here, kind of smooth that out a little bit. Okay, I'm cool with this so far. Reconnect that. Push that in. Okay, yeah, yep, that's a thing. I kind of want to mark my edge under, but we'll see. I kind of like the gradient look, so I might not end up bothering. One thing though, I need to decide is like how far off the face this comes. Like real skulls don't really. I think what I'll do, compromise. Let's exaggerate this a little bit further. Actually, let's go like to this. No, not that far, not that far. I need another loop here. As soon as I started drawing it, I was like, no, too far. Okay, right here. Yeah, like there. Yeah, okay. And then, yep. That's fine with me. This is probably coming out a little too far now, but now that I'm seeing it with the face. Yep, there we go. Something like that. I don't know. And yeah, okay, so I want to exaggerate this a little bit more, which means this loop needs to change. It's probably going to be something more like this. So this is going to be the new loop. And then I'm going to have one of these going over. And then this is probably going to connect this way. Okay, so now I have at least like two there to establish that. And then it kind of fades out. But then the bottom part sort of leads into the mouth. And this is also kind of why this is like visually looking very ball-like, because these faces technically won't be there. Whoops, not that. Not hide, delete. Okay, those won't be there. So that can also help resolve this edge here. Because yeah, now we're getting into like the inside of the mouth, right? That's going to be like here. Because if your canines are roughly, you know, if this is kind of marking where your canines would go, then let me just, that's bugging me. I just want that extra loop there. And it's probably something like that. That goes underneath. Okay, so we're getting a lot of pull here. And you don't want to stress your polys. I say that all the time. Don't stress your polys. Don't do it. So to unstress, we're going to add an extra loop here. I initially set this as 8, but I definitely, usually always, well, pretty much across the board, even for simple characters, I use at least 10 or 12 around the eye. 8 is generally not ever enough. So let's just go a little higher. And then I'm probably going to want another one here, because this is also like pretty stretchied. So I've added 2 so far. We're just going to space that out a little bit. And smooth that a little bit. Okay, and then I don't try to figure out what the underside of a skull looks like. I kind of want to fill it in because yeah, this is a cartoony skull. I don't need to have like an actual, it's not actually going to be a hollow skull. I'm not going to do that. So this is probably going to kind of come into, I don't know, it's probably going to close somewhere. When I actually get the jaw in there, it'll probably be easier to see, so I'm not going to worry about it too much right now. Just kind of put that out of my mind's eye. Just pull this out a little bit more, kind of exaggerate that, and then the amount of loops in this direction I'm not crazy about, so let's just up that a little bit. Pull that up and do that and do that. Okay. And then it just sort of fades out. It doesn't really go anywhere. So I'll probably just, I don't know, something like that. Although I do like I do like having this be more exaggerated. Yeah, somewhere around there. I like that. That's decent. I might even want to go further with it, to be honest. Yeah, I think I want to go like one diagonal further. Just a smidge. Just a smidge. Not that far. Not that far. Change my mind. Okay, there we go. Something like that. It actually kind of comes down more, but whatever. We're noodling floating points, and that doesn't matter right now. We have to establish anchor edges first, so don't get distracted by floating points. Okay, so back to eye loops here. Okay, so there's a few things happening. I think I want more detail because this is like not enough, I don't think. Let me say it's not enough. Okay, let's add that extra loop here. Okay, so we got 10. Yeah, 12 honestly feels good, so let's go for 12. And then we can get a little more freedom here. Just kind of pull these out a little bit more, kind of space them out. And then I'm not going to worry too much about, I do see this happening in the mirror. That's very common when you work with mirror. There's a good way to fix that, but I'm not going to worry about it at this moment. And another thing that can help me just figure out where the depth is on things is just to throw on a temporary solidify. Oops, yeah, 0.02. Go with that. I'm just going to zero this out in case my modifier is acting up a little weird. And then I can do this where I'm starting to like flare the edge, because I would like it if it's kind of like parallel. No, not parallel, perpendicular. And it's easier to do that if you have a loop that runs all the way around. It's also very common for me to, this point here, it always gets a little bit of tension right at this point, but I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to loop those yet, so I'm not going to worry about it. That's also causing tension because it's creating like a really long poly, so I'm going to get rid of that. And having this tuck under the nose is also helping with this a little bit. So considering this goes this way, and it kind of, yeah, it kind of goes along the eye and like along the top a little bit. It starts to fade out, I think, by this point, but it sort of defines the underside of the eye. So let's get those loops to join. So if that's this loop here, we want this loop to basically go around. So in order to make it do that, we got to reinforce. Basically do this kind of thing to make it go around. And this is going to get pushed in now. And this might even be a mark sharp, honestly. Hard to, no. Not the inside, but the outside I'll have to mark. And probably this one. Yeah, okay, there. That's more. That's more what's up. And I'm not worried too much about the depth and like where these specific points are sitting right now. I'm more concerned about the topology itself, because if the topology isn't right, we're never going to be able to build the shapes that we want to build. So I want to make sure the topology is going to service the shapes that I actually want, first of all. Okay, and now that I have that extra edge in there too, I can like pull this out a bit wider, and I might even just like sink this in a little bit. That'll kind of help with pushing that out. Not that far though, maybe like more like that. And just checking our reference again. So eyes, they're kind of like round the whole time. There's sort of a transition out where this fades, right? So actually this fades sooner than this point. So it kind of depends. I guess it depends on the style of skull you're making. It doesn't super matter, but we're gonna just fade them together here a little bit. Just relax that, and then honestly, I'm almost tempted to do this. I'm tempted to do that even, and just figure out a different way for that other loop to go. I don't know yet. And then this can go, honestly, even one more loop would be very helpful. So let's do that. And then, yeah, again, I don't want to get too detailed. I'm getting a little bit sucked in by the details on this skull. I want to make it a little bit simpler than that, but can always pull back after the fact. Can always step back. That's easy. Okay, so I do want to make this round though, defo. Starting from like this point, it'll start to get round. And then I want to have this be round. So if that's going to be like the top of the roundness, I'm going to do the opposite of what I did before actually. I'm going to pull this out instead. Changing my mind. I'm going to do this instead. And something else I want to do just to give myself a more neutral starting point here. And then I can exaggerate it after. And then as we get into the eye, it definitely stops doing that thing. Another thing too that always happens with eyes is like the loops here are like always pulley. And I think just to deal with that, I'm gonna just add one more. But since I added one, I gotta add two, because this is an odd number right now, but I don't know where the best spot to add that second one would be. Haven't decided. Okay. That'll probably work better, I think. More efficient. All right. Just relax that a little bit. But I don't mind it. And then I also want to get more volume here. Like, I really don't think there's enough volume there. I would like the loop to go this way to start, because I want to connect to this thing. And then I can poof this out. Honestly, if I just like pull this whole thing, part of the poof, I'd be fine with that. So it's like, that's cool. And then do that. And honestly, we'll pull that in one more. That's probably gonna be the path of least resistance. And then I have more room to change the shape here. And then I'm probably gonna want to add, realistically, another one here. And then because I've added that, I'll need to do something here, but I'll resolve that after. We'll do something like this for now. Just gotta be aware of it. Okay. Okay, so those loops are benefiting us a lot more. Another thing I can do too that I see is if I just connect these, because I kind of have a spot where things are coming to a clip, and that's fine. That's actually a good spot for a clip, so I'm going to maintain that. But this is a little awkward, so we're going to just probably do something like this. And these are getting a little crooked. I need more topology up there anyway, so we'll do something like this. And that's working definitely better. This is kind of awkward, but again, it's in the back of the head of the floating points, so I'm really not concerned about that at this moment. Just kind of want to make sure I'm not going too off the rails here. Yeah, I kind of like that like octopus head look, where it's sort of like a heavy skull. That's kind of fun. That's kind of cute. All right, I'm good with that for now. Okay, so smooth that out. Do I want to define the brows at all, is the question. Or do I want to, you know what? I don't know yet, because I kind of like, real skulls do have a defined brow, but I sort of like this like smooth transition. Sort of looks a little alien-y. That's kind of funny. Might make the nose a little smaller too, actually. So let's just, nah, okay. Don't worry about that yet. Don't worry about that yet. See, even I get caught up on this stuff plenty. Anchor points, do that first. Most important thing. You can mess with your floating points and clean them up if you're not exactly sure how to proceed, but do your anchor points. Okay. Pull this out. Okay, all right, that's looking more defined. Yes, okay. And this is definitely needing to come out further. It's starting to get a little into the face, because yeah, there is like, you know, this happening here. And there's a bigger space here, and I'm deciding if that's something I care about, because there's also teeth, right? That's part of this. Again, not really sure how far I'm going to go on the teeth. Might be pretty cartoony, but we'll see. Okay, so let's start building the jaw here. Let's just make... Whoops. You gotta put that there. There you go. Let's just do that first. And this jaw is like just kind of building up the basic shape right now. Okay. Something like that, probably. Oops, I kind of merged my verts together when I did that. Okay, so I do want it to be more squashed, because I like the idea of like if this is like a dungeon skull or something and it's just like chilling on the floor. I don't really want this to be for like a character. This is more of like a prop piece. So considering that function, because again, like how you design things, definitely you want to think about how they're going to be used for sure. Considering that function, I actually am going to design it so the base of the skull is like resting on the ground. So this will actually be like the bottom of it. I just want this to contact a tiny bit, but not a whole lot. Just a little bit. I just slide a whole bunch. That's probably a lot of topology, honestly, for the back, but maybe once we space this out and stuff, it'll make more sense. Just smooth a little bit. Whoops. I did redirect it, but it doesn't super matter, honestly. I think especially if I pull this out more, it'll be fine. There's a lot of patterns happening in this spot. I'm not crazy about it. We'll fix it later. Okay, something like that. I don't know how big of a hole I need. Let's make this the back of this jaw wider here. I feel like this is way too narrow. I feel like it's got to be like here or something. I probably need to push these out more too. And honestly, hang on. The way I'm going about this is a little silly. Let's use modifiers. Use your modifiers, folks. Mirror, clipping, solidify. Yeah, I think 0.05 was probably the better way. Even thickness, sure. I wasn't really trying to do this like thing, but I don't hate it. Maybe I'll bring it back a little bit. We'll see. Okay, so I kind of want to fit. Okay, first of all, hang on. Hang on. Let's fix the curvature there because I want to match that a little bit. I want to go a little smaller than it, but I basically want to match it. Like on the bottom, I want to go smaller, but on the top, I don't. Okay, and I also want to enable this thing. He's looking very wide-faced. I definitely did that though. Okay, I'm not crazy about how wide I made this. Let's pull that in a little bit, because like the cheekbones are exaggerated. I did that on purpose, so let's not make the jaw exaggerated to match, because that looks a little funny, and I'm not crazy about it. So we're gonna not do that. Let's just pull this up more so we can actually, because I think this needs to like go in front of this. Pretty confident. I'm going wider again. I just told myself not to do that. Okay, so it does look extra boxy because I decided to put it on the floor. To compensate for that, because the thing is, normal faces, they come in and they go out. So if I'm going to make it extra flat to compensate, I think I should actually go in this direction for it to make sense. So the best way to do that, let's do it with a lattice. So I'm gonna just, yeah, let's just encompass the whole thing. It'll be easier to make the lattice work correctly. Something like that. Okay. And then I always get my loops confused. I don't really need any in the front or top, but I usually like to add one extra just to have it, and then along the axis I'm actually using. Actually, no, I lied. I do need a couple here. I'm gonna go with just what seems a little excessive, just to give myself more control. And then let's enable this. And yeah, I got the right type. Okay. Yeah. I just want it to look a little more brutish, and I think that's helping a little bit. Okay, now I'm just looking at the shape. I think I could, you know what, while I have the lattice here, I might as well. No. Down here, actually. Yeah, just a teeny bit. And I kind of want to pull this up a little bit more. Yeah. The front profile, it's actually not too many front views. I think, I really like how side the squished is, but I feel like the front is like a little too squished. So I think the way to fix that will probably be to maybe make the nose a little smaller and make the eyes bigger. Again, I'm just kind of guessing a little bit. I'm gonna squish this down a little bit. And then just wanna exaggerate a tiny bit. Yeah, the eyes look a little more alert now, so that's cool. Okay. And let's just pull this, make this kind of a nicer transition. Cool. And let's pull this out a bit too. We're kind of losing some volume there. And I'm probably going to want another loop as well. We're getting... yeah, because like we're getting some collapsing right here, so I do want to... I don't really know where I want to put it, though, is the thing. Maybe if I just have my loops kind of... hang on, I don't want to look at this for a second. Maybe if I just kind of have my loops carry over. I might... not that way. I definitely need to add another one. Okay, alright, let's just apply this lattice. First of all, I'm fine with it. We're just gonna work with it. And I need the mirror back, because this is starting to trip me up. Make sure it's on top. Okay. And I forgot clipping. That's cool. And then, yeah, okay, so just sort of repeating myself a bunch. Yeah, so, yeah. That's okay, we'll figure it out. I'm just gonna do that for now. That's not like proper facial structure. Like if I was making a face and not a skull, I wouldn't do that, but it works. Again, this is a prop. Think about the context that you're building in. Because if you just build for the context you're in, you will eventually save time. Okay, so I'm just gonna smooth this out too, because this is starting to bother me. Pull out too far, smooth it down, scale it up, pull it out too far, scale it and smooth it down, and I missed this side. That's okay. I need to remirror it, so it's fine. Let's just grab these now, do the same thing. Maybe go a little bigger, scale up, smooth, scale up. smooth. Just kind of repeat the process a few times in a few different spots. And then smooth some areas. Yeah, okay. Now that I'm seeing like the more spaced out versions of this, like this, these are bothering me less now that I have this loop in between. This could still be like a shield coming together instead of like two clips, but I don't know, it doesn't strictly bother me. But I have that extra volume there. That's not collapsing. I have enough brow thickness, so that's good. Probably want to pull that out a little bit more. And honestly, I'm just thinking about how far I want to push this here. Yeah, I kind of like that where it's like, it sort of looks like the eye is alert and then the jaw is like sort of asleep. I kind of like that look. That's interesting. So the side profile I'm digging. The one thing I'm not crazy about is it looks a little alert from the front. He himself looks spooked. So let's just collapse that a little bit. Just relax that face. Just be careful of what we're doing on the side. I feel like I went too far a little bit. Maybe something more like that. I think it would probably help too if I pull... Hang on. Yeah, this should be more of a... more out, actually. Then it kind of goes... I mean, I'm sort of inverting what I have here, but... I don't dislike it, though, if it's more out. So let's just do that. I feel like that might fit better. Anyway, and then we'll clear it for that point, because it's like, you know what? Once it gets here, I don't really care about defining that edge anymore. I mean, who knows? Maybe I'll contradict myself in 20 minutes. We'll find out. We'll find out. This is the process. Just making it up as we go. And honestly, even this edge might be like too... Maybe I want to define this one instead. I see, I'm going back on it. See, now I do like that better, now that I've got more context. Changing my mind again. Okay, and gotta pull that in more, because again, still want to keep it like kind of close to the skull. I made the skull like, the eyeball. I made the eyeball sort of oblong shaped. It's not a perfect sphere anymore, but that's okay. I just wanted the change to carry through from the lattice, and I think I just need to add more volume here. I think that's why I'm getting a funny look from the side. Okay, yeah, just a little bit more. I was gonna make it flatter, but it's bothering me. I just want that little whoop, and then, so let's pull that forward even more, honestly. Yeah, there we go. Now that's it's a very graphic, defined shape. And then we've got this happening. That's cool. I like that. The nose, the angle on the nose, I'm not crazy about. Let's push this whole thing in a bit more, actually. And also now the lack of mirror is getting distracting again. Let's redo that. Okay. Whoop. Yeah, because I do really like this little thing there. That's a nice shape. I want to do that. Let's do that shape. Okay. So pull that out, pull that forward. And then I'm going back and forth on these noses so much. That's okay. I'll have that start to push in, but I don't know if I'll actually reinforce it the whole way. I kind of want it to fade out. Yeah, I kind of like that sort of aerodynamic look almost. I don't mind it. I will pull this down a little bit more though. Maybe just get a... Oh, you know what? I like that even better. Just sort of a... A lot of the time designing an object is just sort of looking at individual lines and how those complement each other. A lot just focusing on how each of those edges, looks, and that you're getting like a nice curvature to all of them. Thinking about your like straights with curves and stuff like that. So you're keeping that stuff in mind as you're going, then it'll probably look better. hmm Okay, cool. Yeah, that's working a lot better. I like that more. That's more interesting. I think I'm just gonna pull this back a bit more. It's a little intense. And do this. Okay, so for this, okay, first of all, let's just make sure this is zeroed. We want to model neutral. And just thinking about, I do wanna have some kind of like thing going on. I just don't know what yet. And then if the back of it rises off the floor, I think that's okay. And let's make it look more like it's crashing into this a little bit. Yeah, more like that, I guess. Question mark? I also feel like there's a separation here, actually. I'm pretty sure, looking at this now, these aren't like, this doesn't connect to this point. It's probably like way under. Don't want to go too intense with it, but it does kind of look more like that. Okay, so now that I'm at this point, let's actually start to, hey, hey, let me draw. Thank you. And it's gonna connect this way instead. That'll probably be better. Yeah, because then I can get that like rounded shape from the back too, and that's a lot better. And now you know what? I'll just close this up. I'm okay with closing this up. So I don't really know where these loops are going to go exactly. So let's just go the ones I do know, which is these ones. And this. Okay. Get that curvature in there. Get this around there. Okay, so if I go here, just debating how much I care about this being smooth, what shape it is. It might not really matter, honestly. It probably doesn't matter too much. Okay, so this is gonna connect. Okay, the solidify is no longer helping. I'm gonna get rid of it now. It was helping me before and now it's not, so we're gonna get rid of it. So this is probably going to have some volume off. I don't think it's gonna connect to the skull per se, at least not in my design. I'm not going to. Whether skulls do that for real or not is of no concern to me. I just care about how it looks in this context. And yeah, those decisions on how things are simplified too will change. Okay, all right, I'm seeing something else too that would definitely help with this design. So part of the reason why it's like giving me all squished vibes, because another thing I like, because if I'm getting kind of like this curvature and like this curvature in the back, but then I look at the front and it's like, it's very straight up and down. It's kind of boring. So what I would like to do is this instead, where it's like curving out. So in order to do that, first of all, do I like where it is? And I don't. I feel like it should be higher. Yeah, it should definitely be higher. So let's pull that up and boop, 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 boop. Just sort of yank it in this direction. Oh, I do have the smooth type gone. Okay, good. Pull that out. Honestly, even higher. Let's really push that. Now my loops are changing, right? So one thing to do, first of all. Okay, all right. This lattice. Hang on. I don't need this. Get out of here. Get out of here. Okay. I need more topology here, and I don't need as much here now. So that's one thing that's happening. So first of all, let's remove this, and let's add it back down here. Just change where it is, because I don't want to change this loop. I like this one. But I just don't need that topology anymore, because now this is higher than I thought it would be. And let's just grab this whole thing, pull that up. And even like this now, I'm wondering if this is like maybe too much. Let's just collapse some of these for fun, because I may not even need these now. We'll see. I probably collapsed too far, but we'll we'll come back to it. All right. Okay, so I also don't like. I'll just change this now. This is bothering me. Because I want this to go down. So if I want this, oh, you know what? This is perfect. Let's just do this. Right, And then I can just do this, because this is the back of the skull anyway. If there's less topology there, it doesn't really matter. Okay, yeah, now it's making that shape that I want. This is higher up. Okay, that's looking a lot closer together, a little bit tighter at the eyes. Doesn't look as airy there. Okay, so that's good. I like that shape a lot more, significantly more. Let's just pull out more volume here. A little bit, and then collapse those a little bit. And definitely make sure this edge is like nice, because as you smooth, it's going to use those edges as reference since we're not smoothing them. And I don't even know if I need that anymore, to be honest. I might not. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, going back to just the skull here. Let's do this, and let's do this for now. It's a bit of an extreme angle, but it does it bother me? Kind of bothers me. It bothers me. All right, it bothers me. Fine. Okay, so to fix this, I like this loop. I like this one, but it's sort of doing a weird thing over here. So in order to get reinforcement, I need it to follow this, and I need it to go down here. And that gives me that loop that I needed actually, because I needed something there. Go into the diagonal, and I don't need to compensate for the extra edges I added. And then I can kind of go around this thing instead, and then this can go like, I don't know, into the mouth probably. Okay, and I gotta smooth the whole thing. And let's just smooth this, see what happens. And let's smooth this out. If this is more of like a gradual transition, yeah, okay, all right, okay. And then this would have a solidify. I could build that with a solidify, but I'm just gonna do it manually, because meh. Okay, so connect this, just add volume, because this is kind of like where the teeth would sit. Again, not totally sure if I'm even gonna bother, but we'll see. We'll see what I feel like doing. Okay, connect this across here, put that here, do that. Okay, and then that's probably gonna, whoop, nope. These two are gonna have to go together probably. There's definitely a lot of tension in this area, which I'm not crazy about. Okay, that's fine. And then this will be kind of like a hollow inside. This is no longer like going to affect the shape of this, so I'm less concerned about this. Okay, and one thing about this though is if the teeth, hypothetically, right, were going to be part of that connecting. I'm just sort of saying words at times. We're just gonna say words as we model. So helpful. Okay. All right, let me just do it and then let me explain what I'm doing. All right, okay, so I definitely need to make this wider to connect, because like these, you know, you don't have humans have a bite that like connects, right? So that's definitely a thing that's gonna have to be. I don't, oh man, I feel like I gotta make the teeth to make this correct. Because I went so like, I could do like cartoony teeth, but like, let's think. What kind of teeth do I feel like doing? What fits the design of the skull here? Let's pull these out first of all. I don't really like how it's hiding inside. Yeah, they're kind of curvy. I'm like, did I exaggerate too much? Maybe. A little bit. A little exaggeration's fine. And let's pull. If I just do that, that probably would help. Okay. All right. So I definitely need to add a few. I'll probably clip them in the same spot-ish, because I don't really like it going that far. We're just gonna do that for now. It's kind of messy. I don't like having that on the anchor edge, but No, 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 don't do that. I changed my mind. Ignore what I just said. Lies. We're gonna go here instead, because now we're not conflicting. That makes more sense. And we're just gonna mark this sharp. It's already kind of marked by default, but I just want to see it. And I do want to maintain that sharp edge there too, and I want to maintain this sharp edge as well. I think that will help. Okay, this is sort of a mess. I don't like this at all. Okay, so first things first. I think we need... honestly, we're going to need 2 more loops. I think. 1 here, and then if this did push into the diagonal, because I don't really like that. I don't like it. Let's push this more. And I'm definitely going to need still 1 more loop. I just don't know where yet. I just wanted to move that over because I don't like it. Okay, doing that more of that kind of thing. And then now that I have that topology, I can draw here and make that area less dumb because that's also bad. And then I don't want to get rid of this because I need it on the other side, but it's kind of the same deal. And then do I even need that guy? Maybe. I need this guy, but I got a quad there anyway. Okay, that's less brutal to look at. Those are definitely going to be sharp edges, so I think we can just mark that way. And now we're like getting patterns super unnecessarily. Okay, so let's push this whole thing a little bit over, and then I can get that extra edge by just throwing it under the face, because I don't think I need it anywhere else. There, now it's even again. Okay. Alright, that's way better. Significantly better. Alright. Smooth that. Ooh. Plus that. Okay, now I have this thing. Maybe I don't even need it then. I don't know. Maybe I don't even need it. I had an odd number to begin with. Alright, never mind. It's fine. Okay, so I'm fine with this. That's working better. It's not giving me weird shadows that I don't like. So that's cool. And that area is going to be kind of hidden by this guy. So I just want to make this, first of all, easier to see again. And it'll probably help if I push this in. Oh, yeah, you know what? That's a good suggestion, Blender. Thank you for marking that edge for me, because I do like the way that looks, actually. We're going to do that. If I keep that sharp, then it'll give me a little more space. Okay. And I kind of want to pull this out. I know you're probably not really going to see it, especially because I made such a chunky cheekbone, but that's okay. Actually, okay, I still feel like this should be wider. I still feel. Just to give that. I'm feeling like maybe the skull actually, or the bottom. I keep saying the skull for like other words. Everything is now the skull. I just feel like the bottom of the skull should be like, I did it again! The mandible? Holy junk. Okay, I just want to pull the bottom out. Not the top. Oh my lordy. That's what you get when you do this stuff first thing in the morning. Get all loopy. Okay. I still want this to be flat. I could have this like come in a bit though. Like it doesn't need to be like on the ground flat. As long as I've got my contact points, then I can kind of get a little bit of this going on, and then I can kind of do the same thing here, kind of just a little bit, just a subtle amount of bend, and then I can do the same thing with this guy, where I'm just kind of like subtly pulling this part down, and then this part can stay mostly up, and I really want another loop here. I don't know where the other one's going to go yet, but I really want that loop there. Yeah, something like that, you know? So it's kind of like a little smile. That's kind of cute. And let's pull this up more even. Yeah. And I you know what? I think this is how I'll get that extra loop. Because this definitely needs one now that it's taking up so much volume. Because I want to add a little more curvature there. That's a little too straight looking. I don't want it to be too straight up and down. That's a little boring. Cool. All right. That's something. Cool. Cool. I like that squishiness. I like this squishiness. This shape is kind of fun. I do think it should be a little thicker though. I think overall it's just a little flat. So let's just pull this up and then make this little beefier. Yeah. Okay. That's a better height. Something more like that, I think. And now I'm wondering about the back of the skull. Like, kind of changing my mind on that now. It almost feels like it should be pulled up a little bit now. All right, that's something. And I kind of want this to be a bit more of exaggerated. Okay, so hang on, these loops are getting in my way for now. I kind of want this to be more like that, and then, is that the right loop? Yep. Make sure I'm selecting the right thing. Because I kind of want to see it a teeny bit. I just want to barely be able to see it. So I can get that, like, defined shape. That's good. That's good. Okay. That's defined. That's defined. And then let's do a little... Let's do some teefies. Okay. All right. Fine. Let's do teefies. I'm just literally arguing with myself here. That's cool. Okay. First thing. Wireframe. I want these to line up because it's going to be a little tricky to get this to work better if it's not. Yeah, there we go. Okay, and I don't like, hang on. This is bothering me just a smidge. It's bothering me just the slightest amount of bother. Nope, 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 nope. Turn off soft select, thank you. There, okay. That was bugging me just the slightest amount. All right, I got that going on. That's fine, I'm cool with that. Okay. Looking a little boxy here. I just want to, just a teeny bit more. I want all these loops to kind of have to come in more. Yeah, yeah, that's better. Got this shape happening. Boop, boop. That's cool. The face as a whole kind of does this thing. That's cool. The back of the skull needs to be more round. It's not round enough. I think I messed it up a little bit. Hang on, hang on, hang on, hang on, hang on. Make sure you select the right words here. Let's... Yeah, those are the areas that are... Okay, so it's a little too like that, right? Yeah, there we go. Yeah, okay, just round that out. That's better. I think I messed it up when I was smoothing these around. Okay, let's just do that and that a little bit. Yep. Just kind of chilling those verts out. All right. Okay, so top. Okay, we got this happening. We got this happening. That's cool. I like that. A little smooth here. You know what? I would like this to be pointier, actually. Because I think it would look nice if it's just a little bit pointier. Hang on, let me look from the top here. Okay, so only looking at this view. Just pull this one out. Yeah. And then kind of smooth this out a little bit. Okay, so now I've got happening. That's cool. Let's okay, hang on. There we go. Okay, let's remake this mirror again. Cool. And then if we look at the side, we got whoop, and we got whoop, and we got whoop. Those are complementary. I like the shape that's making. That's cool. I like whoop. That's fine. If you look at the front, we got whoosh and whoosh, and it's going as a whole. It's like going out. That's more what I wanted. I don't think I need this anymore. Cool, cool. Back is fine. Yep. Actually, I want to just pull this up a little bit so it's more like a. Just want to simplify that shape. And then these are coming in, it's going out. So this is the kind of stuff that you want to look at when you're evaluating the design of your model and just kind of checking all the proportions, make sure they're complementary together, make sure your design is like consistent for what you're trying to make. Like for example, if your show has a lot of straights and thins, or if it's rule of thirds, or if it's always in threes, or like whatever the style is, you want to keep that in mind. Obviously, if you're in a production, you're not going to be designing your own assets, but even if you're making your own production, what did you establish as your design criteria, and how can you be consistent with that? Those are things to think about. Okay, so I like that. That's cool. I think it is time to build the sockets now. I said teeth, and I'm like, no, no teeth. Immediately distracted. We'll come back to that. I'm just gonna make the socket. I want to kind of do this, and I kind of want to like, I don't want them, yeah, I'm again just abstract muttering. Okay, grid fill. Oh, that's odd. That's fine. Yeah, right. I was gonna add that extra loop, and I just never figured out where to put it. A lot of the time, I just add it to the bridge of the nose if I'm like, I need one more. It's a good place to have loops. Obviously, I'm not really animating on this, but it's good to have extra loops in this area if you need to add them for rigging, because that's where a lot of deformation happens. They need a lot of loops for brow furrows and stuff like that, so that's a good spot to toss them if you need them, if you need to. Okay, so now I have this. Now I can grid fill this. And kind of thinking about how these loop together. Yeah, that's probably the most neutral shape, because then this loop goes all the way around, which is ideal. So that's cool. I like the eyes. Good on the eyes. Okay, now let's do the little snoot. And probably, whatever. We'll keep them here. That's fine. My nose is a little itchy. I got allergies. A little sniffly. Okay. Push this in, and I do want it to kind of like come down as it goes. The bridge of the nose, like this, that's how you get that shape. So I'm actually not gonna make, that's another reason too why I don't really need to extrude evenly, because the way the inside goes isn't even. Yep, that's a mathematical modeling term, the way stuff goes. Okay, one thing, definitely loop down the center of your model. Always good to have. Let's add 2 loops. Oh, okay, now I have an odd number. I don't need that one then. And I'm gonna push this in more because I want this to be smooth. It's not just like a square back. I'm gonna add one more loop as well. And I can just smooth that out. Okay, now applying it might be good. So I can do that. Yep. Okay. Nose is working. Eyes are working. That's cool. I'm cool with those defined edges. Am I though? Am I cool with those defined edges? I don't know. I feel like they might be overkill, honestly, because I'm not really doing this anywhere else on the model. It's just in this one spot. They might be overkill. Okay, what if I remove them? What happens? Maybe that's why. I'm kind of mixing styles here. Okay, so let's just simplify this a little bit, because we're doing things that I'm not crazy about. And let's connect this way, and then I can throw another one here. Whoopsie. Okay. I don't like where that's going. We're just gonna clip that. We'll do that instead. Just to kind of smooth that up, break that up. Okay, so in theory, if this was a face, I need to add more volume here. I also, but the thing is I want to keep this here though, because I do like adding that volume, but maybe it just needs one more loop here. We can use that to connect. Just because I really don't feel like there's enough there, but I also don't really like what's happening here either, because this isn't reinforced at all, and I'm not crazy about that. So let's just have this reloop this way and get rid of this. Because if I'm not defining that, right, I don't really need those edges there. So let's just do that. And then in order for this to go around this edge, this needs to do this so that it's actually like complementing this. And in a way that's a little bit easier because it wouldn't be bad to have like one loop down here to separate, you know? And my count of how many tries I have, my count of that is out the window. That's okay. We'll we'll figure that out later. It's good to keep track of it as you go, but if you don't, it's okay. Okay, let's just fix this here. All right, this is nonsense. Get rid of this nonsense. Too much. Let's just clip that more. Clip. Go away. One more here. That would probably help. And having it, I could have one or less, but you know what, having it is fine. Okay, so now we've got a spot where we can start to clip all these things. And then if I do this, okay, there we go. That's better. Getting that grid back a little bit. I'm fine with making this like a marked edge. That's fine. That's more even. Okay. We do have this loop going around, so that's cool. Fine with the spacing there. It's kind of at the bottom of the skull anyway, so whatever. That spacing makes more sense. I could do this, but I will actually, just because. No, I don't like that. Never mind. I'm not gonna do that. Okay, I don't like that. There we go. That's better. And now I have this, I can add volume here, and I have something. Let's get rid of so many things connecting to that one point. Yeah, we'll do that for now. I know there's an odd number somewhere. I just want to get the volume. A lot of the volume on a face obviously comes from like the skin and stuff and the fat on your face. But I just want to get a little bit because I want to make it, like I said, I want to make it cartoony. The bottom, okay, I think one thing that's bothering me is the bottom of the eye socket is like pretty well defined on real skulls, and it's just sort of a lumpy area, and I was trying to do that by defining down here, but I think that's sort of like a tertiary detail on a skull that I probably wouldn't have for this level of detail, whereas like I'm missing definition on the socket itself. So let's just bring that like right around the eye instead. Let's do that. So we'll make this our standout, we'll make this our standout edge. And this is going to be where we kind of push in. And yeah, I mean, I'm just sort of marking these edges for reference. When this is actually shaded, you're not really going to see the information like that visually, so it's not that big of a deal. Again, checking the sides, want to see what's happening here. I want to know where that try is. Meshlint. Okay, so I've got 51. Okay, all right, so it's just an odd number for open gap. That's fine. Considering that information, I think what I'll do, okay, I want to straighten this first of all, because I'm starting to lose my loops a little bit. We're getting a little blurry here. Don't forget your axes. I want to use proper axes. Just kind of pull that up a bit more. And then, I don't want to add more here, but I want to. I do and I don't want to. But this is helping a lot more anyway. Now I can just pull this in, pull that up. And then maybe smooth this out a little bit. Maybe if I like make this a little more concave. I can kind of get more out of that. Okay. Okay, so I need to add another edge to this mouth is the thing. That's what's happening. And the place that makes the most sense to add is back here for evenness, but then connecting to it is kind of awkward. So instead of that, I think I'll probably connect here because that's the path of least resistance. And then just kind of, honestly, even if I pull this out a little more, well, hang on. Careful now. Not that far. I'll just push this up instead. Even if I like take this and space that out, that'll help. Oops, not relax. Want to space. Okay, space that out. And then this can come in more. And this can go this way, right? So now we're going this way. We have this happening. All right, now we're getting both these tries into the same area. They're not in a great spot. If this was animation, I would fix it by running it through the eye and just making the eye denser. I don't really feel like doing that in this case because most of the stuff I'm making on my YouTube channel is going to be game assets because those are funner to make. But I am going to do some animation assets that just take significantly longer. So I like these short little videos just to demonstrate how to model because really the way you start an animation asset and a game asset, like I said, should be the same. It's just the techniques you do and the choices you make with your topology that are going to be a little different. And I just want to define this edge a bit more, actually. I think that might also help if I just have like a thicker part around some of it, but not all of it. Like, I like how this comes to a point, but I kind of want to have like a thicker edge here, and I think that's probably going to help a little bit. And then by this point, it can kind of fade out a bit. I might even take this edge, now that I have that other one, and just tuck that under a little bit, just so I can get a bit of definition without like going nutty with it. So like maybe I'll add a sharp there and just smooth this out. And this already has mark sharp for the automatic plane angle setting. Yep. All right, it's a little even. I think I'm just gonna make this area a little bigger, kind of in the middle. So it kind of like gets a little smaller by the edges, but then this is the widest point right here. It's slightly more interesting to look at. This is bothering me. I don't like where it's connected. Move it down a little bit. Okay. And I'm going to close this finally. And do I have mirror? Yeah, I do. Okay. And let's do this. Hang on, too far. Misclicked. Do that. And I definitely want this edge and this one to connect. So this. And then as of this point, it's starting to go across. And I have one more here. Good. And the way that looks on the inside, I'm really not concerned with because we're super not going to see it. But now, when I mesh lent it, we don't have any non-manifolds. We don't have any tries or n-gons. We've got this little thingy here. Just for fun. If I was going to fix this, let's do that. Okay, because that might help this as well. Okay, so now I don't have any 6+ edge holes there. Just for fun, we'll relax that a tiny bit and pull this over. Relax that a bit more. Just chill these out a bit more. Chill that out a bit more. Okay, that's working a lot better. And now at least when we like, again, if you were going to plus this for animation, you'd want to like reinforce where these hard edges are at. But now it's a lot easier to do because it's already quadded, so you just need to add for that. And no more for the standard build, just what you need for reinforcement. But I'm not going to do that. Maybe a different video. Not this video. I don't feel like it. Okay, so this part I'm pretty happy with. Teeths. Okay, let's just do some teeths. I'm putting it off long enough. Okay. So let's make these like relatively, I don't know, I'm just saying things. Let's make these relatively, yeah? Relative to what? You're just saying words. All right. Something like that, and let's have the teeth kind of meet. I want them to meet the bottom. I want the teeth to the meet the bottom. Okay. Let's I also want to just make it really narrow at the base of the tooth. Okay, so human's got a few of these in front. I'm not gonna make them. Okay, let's just make them. I'm deciding how I'm gonna make them before I'm making them. Just make them, then we'll see what happens. Okay. Tooth 2, and the bottom teeth are also very like narrow. So let's hang on. Do something like that. Make him perfect first. Perfect light-ish. He's definitely gonna have an underbite, which is fine. I'm okay with that. That's definitely how I built him, was to have an underbite. Let's go like really cartoony with this. Let's go like this and like this. Because there's a decent amount of space to fill here. And let's go bigger, honestly, with these front teeth. Just so it's even easier to fill the space. And these teeth are gonna be like a little bigger too, probably. Yeah, I'm liking that kind of like overlapping thing happening. That's decent. And then this may have gone too far back. We'll see. I'm gonna make a little molar just to test it out here. Okay, this needs to be thicker for sure. Let's go with 7 instead. It's probably easier to work with. And the farthest back molar is going to be here, right? Squash that a bit more. Make this one a bit taller. How many molars do we have? 3, 4, 3, 4-ish. Let's just make this bigger. I don't know. It's gotta fit somehow. Okay, so I might even have to go thicker with this. Let's just do 0.1. No, too far. 9? Yeah, maybe that. Okay, let's do that. Sure. And let's do, starting to get back to normal teeth here. Starting to get a little flatter. I don't know if there's any dentists in the audience, just like, what are you doing? That. Trying really hard not to just say when I'm thinking. Brain's like, explain what you're doing. And I'm like, hang on, let me let me think about what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. Let me see. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. People have, I don't, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, I feel like 2 more teeth could probably fill the gap, and then we'll we'll accept that. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe do I want to have 1 tooth? Now it feels like the back is too wide. Honestly, let's just apply this solidify to, this is bothering me. This is really bothering me. Apply this nonsense. And then just push this up. And just have this more like that, because the fact that it's all the same thickness is making this very difficult. I imagine, pretty sure real jaw lines are like this anyway, where they get thicker near the back, so easier to go realistic. Let's just do that. And then this guy, I don't like that. I want to have something around it, and I want to, you know what? Let's not even add all his teeth. Why? He doesn't need to have all his teeth. It's a skull. He doesn't need all his teeth. Let's just do that. I don't want to space him out too much. Let's just do that. Okay. And then these teeth. Hang on. These teeth. No, I had it. Okay, wait, hang on. There we go. Make that bigger, and I think, I don't know. We'll do something like, yeah, if I have it kind of crashing with that tooth, that might be, I kind of want it to look a little dirty and old and garbagey and skull-like, you know? So I kind of like them sort of intertwingling. That's not a word. Intertwining. There we go. A little bit. Okay. I also want another loop. Hang on. I also want like something else here, because I don't really like how boxy this whole thing is. I just want to chill out this a little bit. Make it a little rounder, a little softer. And then for this guy too, like let's do that also. Same deal. I like that. Cool. Okay, that's a little bit less obtuse to work with. And then I can like take this into, maybe I'll do it with the whole width. Nope. There you go. Just kind of, alright, we'll eyeball it, I guess. Cool. There we go. Now we can make these like kind of stick out a little bit at random. Not at random. Do it with thought. Don't do things randomly. Okay. And I need more molars. I think I have too much volume here. Just for fun, I'll rotate them around. They're like identical on the top and bottom, but just for fun. And these should line up pretty good, but I'll make them a little crooked. And I need this to like definitely come in more. And that doesn't need to come out as far. Okay. Do that a little bit. Too far. Again, I'm not going to have subdivision to correct those things since this is a game asset, so you got to make them with that in mind, you know what? I don't want. He doesn't need all his molars. That's too many molars. And I'm also making these sides like symmetrical. I just realized, so I'll have to make the other side probably a little different. Have those teeth crashing together, and then they start to get a little bigger, I guess. A lot wider, I guess. Yeah, something like that. Probably. Question mark. And then let's just pull this out too. This is like, that's not enough. Okay. Yeah. Pretend we're good for that for now. And then I do not want to merge, but I will apply this. And I'm gonna have these both kind of going in the same direction for fun. And let's have this kind of go in the opposite. And it's also a bit smaller. And he's missing this tooth. And he will have this molar. But I didn't leave myself space for that. I didn't really think about that. It's okay. But not this tooth. And then let's get rid of this molar. And let's get rid of this. No, not rid of it. I'll just move it. I'll just move it. Something like that. And let's just move this over, I suppose. And yeah, sure. As long as it just doesn't look totally equal. And let's get rid of one of these teeths. And shade smooth with the thing. Yeah, I like some hard edges on the ends, but I don't want them all to be hard edges. But yeah, there we go. We got a little skull. That's cool. Okay. The eyes. Let's just push this in a little. let's just push this. Those are words. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. You push this. Okay. It's up to you to figure out what I mean. Let's do this. Technically, it's both. In a way. In a way. Just give this more depth a little bit. Throw in cavity for fun. And yeah, we got a funny little skull. Little dungeon skull that can go on the floor somewhere and be spoopy. Yep. I like that. I will probably maybe surface this in another video. I will upload orthographic views of this guy so you can build something similar or change the design however you feel like and use it as a starting point. Up to you. But yeah, this is Skull. And I just want to verify one last thing. Let's merge these guys together. Just for fun too. Let's also just, since we did something similar, we'll just relax that a little bit too. Just so it's not. There we go. Okay, we'll just do that. And, okay, last thing. I didn't quite. You could take this further, I would say too, if you want to add like more loops and you could really have it follow like the teeth and stuff like that. Which I wouldn't do that on a cartoony skull, but on a realistic skull, definitely. Obviously. Obviously. But yeah, I'm good. Okay, there we go. Just to add like a little bit of grit there, a little bit of variation. Also, you want to decide too like how you're surfacing this, because surfacing could account for some of the detail, potentially, or you may just want to like kind of make this a little more irregular to start with. Up to you, obviously. Obviously, this is just for fun and tutorials. And yeah, I feel pretty good about that. That's a Scully boy. That's what's up. Yeah, have a good day, everybody. If you like this, like and subscribe. I'm gonna try and post more things like this. And if you have suggestions for little complex objects you want me to make in ideally an hour or two time, would be cool. But yeah, have a good day, everybody, and hopefully see you in the next one. Goodbye.